can probably hear it in my voice.
I'm actually hearing it more now.
Yeah.
You've controlled it more until you've had to talk about it.
Yep.
I don't want to do it. No, Amy, keep going. Bigger than it is. Very short couples. Quite Amy. Probably last about.
Well done.
That was good.
You made it.
Technical elimination.
Oh, that's not great lighting. My face is cut in half by the sun. I'm actually gonna have to just maybe be half a face. Morning.
Morning.
Sorry about the lighting. It's 7 AM and the sun is low. And we are on our way for a cross-country competition.
Kaylee is so excited.
I am.
Bricking it.
Bricking it is a good safe word to use. So yeah, so we're going to Henderside cross country to do clear round show jumping and the 80 cross country. And the photos were released last night and I have spent a good amount of time looking at them and realising that this is the most technical thing I have ever asked Nelly to do and the most technical thing I've ever asked myself to do. So I'm feeling delighted with past Daly for entering the 80. We're 5 minutes away from the venue. Nelly's already there because Tilly's doing the 90 and she's on in 35 minutes, so they very, very kindly saved us from a 4 AM start to get to the yard first, to drive there, to walk the course in time for Tilly competing, by taking Nelly on the box and meeting us there. So we're almost 2 minutes away now. You can probably hear it in my voice.
I'm actually hearing it more now.
Yeah.
You've controlled it more until you've had to talk about it.
Yep. So probably won't talk very much more. We'll film the course walk and a bit of stuff, and then I'll probably better keeping my mouth closed so I don't vomit. So you can probably just hear from Heather for the rest of the day until I've crossed that finish line.
You'll be fine.
Yep, I'm touching glove. With the G. Just giving her calming cookie. She's gonna have to wait on the box whilst Quinn goes and does her show jumping across country, so I can imagine how that's going to go down. But hopefully the calming cookie will help, and we are literally right next to the show jumping, so we will be able to watch Quinny go round, which will be nice whilst we wait with Nelly. She seems okay. There is an excessive amount of poop back there. I've got a few things to hopefully help with that. I've purchased some Quick Fix at the recommendation of Wizzy Welsh, so we'll have some of that. And oh, you're coming out with me. Hi. And she's obviously on her usual gut balancer, which she'll get some when she gets back as well. But she seems pretty chill here with Quinn. So I'm going to shut the door and leave her so she doesn't think anything of it. I just wanted her to know I was here. Mummy's here.
I just saw the jacket.
3. Gosh. Oh, it's bright. They weren't messing about with those fillers, were they? But we think that they're going to have to take them out slightly because the poles that were on the 85 couldn't get them any lower on the cups, so great. Something else to worry about. Yes. through here. This is quite steep. Ugh. Then jump up onto this. Along this. Down this. Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad.
She's plowing down.
Whoa. And then out over the duck. Oh. She finished mine, one of it. And Dad.
Nearly in the warm-up.
Hello and welcome to Voiceover Ailey. This is us gone into the show jumping warm-up, and it was one of my highlights of the day actually, going in, and she just did her little walk, trot and canter around. I'm not saying it wasn't without its tenseness, as you can see here, but there was no going backwards, there was no shooting off away from anybody. She, I wouldn't say was wholly listening to me, but she certainly wasn't totally freaked out by it like we have done in previous competitions. It was the most relaxed she'd probably been initially in a competition, so I was really chuffed. So we came at a little cross pole in trot, because I always like to do my first one in trot. One, so she can look at it, and two, because I find it really helps when she can pick up her legs at a jump. Really good for her warming up. And then we came at it in canter. And then we did the straight bar, but they were calling me at this point, so we actually only did one extra jump in the straight bar. But as you can see, kept a really nice rhythm and popped it really nice. So I was feeling pretty confident. Obviously, I had my question marks about the fillers in this course, and sadly they did not remove the fillers from underneath. So I had to go up this way to pick up my canter for fence 1, and she was backing off it. She wasn't even meant to be going near it, and she was backing off it. So I did my best to try and give her a good show of it. And you won't be able to hear it, but just now they've buzzed the buzzer, so I needed to go. So sadly, this was not a good start for us. So I went round the back and picked up my canter for fence 1. Had a reasonably nice rhythm, and a couple of strides out she just took off a bit of a zoomie, as you can see. And I wish I had just kept my cool, kept my hands low and relaxed. But got a nice rhythm back, and this was the fence I was thinking we were going to have an issue with, so I was keeping my leg on, keeping a nice rhythm, and she shoots off. And then dodges out to the side. And this was really disconcerting, because in my mind, her shooting off and locking onto the fence was, oh well, we're going over it. And then last minute she just looked down at that filler and shot out to the side, which did nothing for my confidence. And it's probably because I took my leg off because she went on a zoomie. So I just brought her back to walk and tried to get her to go and look at it. And at this point she wasn't for going to look at it at all. She was doing her usual napping, backing up, ignoring my leg. And I wish I was braver, because if I was braver I could have been a bit more assertive and just got her to go straight at it, and I'm just not one of those riders, so this really knocked me. Really knocked me. That's me turning around saying... That was me turning around saying I didn't want to do it.
Trot, go on.
So I walked her up to it. She actually spoke into a bit of side of trot, so she probably would have done it, but I just wanted her to walk up to it and have a good look at it and realise it wasn't going to be an issue.
Right, trot on. She'll do it now.
So we come round at it in
Determined.
trot, and this time,
Go on, Ailey, come on, get up.
this time she does go over it. We do take it down because
Well
she's
done.
shaking her head, and I think I was just holding on for dear life a bit
Wrong
too
way.
much.
Ailey, wrong way. She said she was going to do that.
So came around fence 3, and it's not super obvious, but there was quite a downhill after fence 3, and a lot of people had been having a bit of issue going into fence 4. She absolutely soared it and then shot off, so I did a circle. I didn't want her to be bombing at the fence on a downhill. My nerves couldn't cope. And then after fence 4 was a double, which was only a one-strided double with a scary filler underneath it. And I was already thinking, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to,
Fine,
if
well
she
done.
refuses that, I'm going to come
Really well done.
flying off the front. Just the way she was stopping and zooming, I wasn't convinced it was going to go well at all. And if I had fallen off, I would not have gone cross country. So I put my hand up and retired. So we went into the cross country warm up, feeling pretty pants, to be honest. Confidence was shot to bits. Just how she was jumping was so unlike her, having a really nice rhythm and then just absolutely shooting off. I didn't know how to ride it, I didn't know how to take it. So I went off for some nice long canters. I tried to get her picking up speed, but on demand I couldn't get her to do it. It was really strange. And then came at my first jump and had a run out. This was me just composing myself to try again because I was not feeling very good about it.
I think Ailey needs to let her go because she's... Yeah.
And you can see she's kind of shooting off, but I'm kind of just holding her back rather than just being like, right, okay, you want to go, let's just go. I'm trying to keep it very controlled, very
Brilliant.
rhythmical, which
Well
I managed
done.
to do there. I think it's just going to be practice, but it wasn't doing much for my confidence.
Brilliant. Well done.
That was me doing one of the 80 fences as a warm-up.
I was to have either of them now. Probably lost about. Well done. That was good.
And it was around this point that I realised the warm-up was done for me. The longer I spent in this warm-up doing these fences, the more I'm going to be really nervous. So I turned to Heather and said, let me go. So I came out of the start box, trotted the first fence and did the 60 because when I say about 50% of competitors were having a refusal at fence 1, it was so bad. So that was the game plan. And then it's quite a nappy situation because you have to ride past all of the horse boxes. So we stayed in the low height for here. That felt really nice. And then fence 3 felt really nice as well. And then we went out of sight. This fence was getting near the end and she did put in a stop. Now, I will say that this was our 4th stop at this point. Throughout the course I'd had quite a few stops, so we had lost our rhythm. She had a skidding stop about fence 9, and then this one being the 4th fences after that. She refused all 4 in a row. So it wasn't unexpected, which maybe meant I wasn't riding it efficiently. But then after these 2 fences, she did go clear. So I just came round in trot. I'd stayed at 60 the whole way. There was nothing she couldn't do out of trot. And she popped that little double quite nicely. And then these 3 fences were my favourite. She napped ever so slightly here. You can see her wanting to go to the right because that's where the horse boxes are. So I did have to give her a good kick and bring her back to trot just to get her in line with the fence we were meant to be doing. And then we finished it.
Well done.
And it was a great feeling to be finished.
Nelly doing some dramatic neighing. You made it.
I did the 60.
I know you did.
But technical elimination, but only by one refusal.
Oh dear,
Only
but you
by
made it.
that last one at the double.
Mhm.
Which I thought was kind of a sure set, but she had a confidence knock. She slipped at one of them,
Mhm.
and like you'll see, well, you saw the skate marks like as long as this stick. And I think she was suddenly, after that, every single one she wanted to stop at. So I started to trot into some of them to kind of get her confidence back. And then she stopped at the first drop.
Mhm.
No, actually not the first one, the second one, which was the log and then a drop, which actually we didn't walk. Gotta guess.
All done. Washed off, ice booties on.
She's cool now.
She's cool now. Yeah. We survived. Just waiting for the others to show up. Aren't we? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, can't see the box. Quick fix. Going into dinner. Gap balancer. Going into dinner. Onto the ramp. Ta-da! Not perfect, but it's better. Hello, it is about 3 weeks later. Didn't really realise I hadn't closed off the vlog. I'm not mad at that actually. I think I needed time to reflect after this day. I'm sure you have been able to tell that it was a bit of a... it was a deal. Last night I finished putting the clips onto the timeline for editing the video. Obviously realised I hadn't done an outro and realised I was going to need to do a hell of a lot of voiceover, which you'll have already seen. And I am not joking when I say that I had a knot of anxiety in my stomach the entire time I edited the ridden clips of that day. Which, until last night, I mean, it's been 3 weeks and I know that it wasn't ideal, but I had kind of made my peace with that day. But until last night, I hadn't realised how much that day had affected me, which is fine. I put up a post on our Instagram, I think it was actually the same day, after me and Heather had our debrief in the car on the way home, kind of with an action plan. The action plan being that my saddle is not supportive for me. Even when my stirrup's 4 holes shorter, I still felt like I didn't have any support. You can kind of see in the clips that when I put my leg forward in a sort of safety position, that it could just go on and on and on. It could have touched her face if I wanted it to. So I have contacted my saddle fitter to get Nelly fitted for a completely new jump saddle. It was never an ideal saddle. He said himself it'll last you maybe a year while she's getting into shape, and then it's not going to do either of you any favours. So I think that time is nigh. However, my saddle fitter has broken his ankle, so we've still got another couple of weeks till he's able to come out, which is a bit of a shame because I really wanted to do loads of jump practice, and I just don't think there's any point doing loads in a saddle I don't feel safe with. I could do some low stuff, but nothing major. Secondly was, as we said at the beginning, but that course for the 80 was very, very technical, and when I came home and was looking on Instagram, the amount of people who messaged me or who I saw who had been saying it was causing a load of problems. When I was on course, the other 3 competitors on course at the same time as me all retired or left the course. By jumps, what jump? The jump I had my first refusal at, the rider behind me, I moved over for her and she got up to us and retired. So I think it wasn't the best course to be setting up to 80, which has made me feel a bit better because I was feeling like a bit of a failure, that I felt we could have gone higher than 60. There wasn't a 70 class.
I didn't feel like we needed to do the 60, and then walking it and then riding it and realising I still needed to do the 60 was a bit of a kick in the teeth. Keep me humble, Nelly. I was very humbled by that. We're not ready for 80. I'm not ready for 80. Nelly has all the capability. I just don't. I've not done it enough. I've not ridden enough of them. I don't feel safe enough in my saddle. I'm rambling. 2 stars and a wish. The star was that Nelly absolutely bossed those warm-ups. She went into that show jumping, she warmed up, she did the jumps. Amazing. Woo! We've made that. And that was on grass, and we'd never been before. So yeah, loved the warm-ups. Well, I was getting shit in my pants, but I love how she handled herself in the warm-ups, because that's been something ongoing for us. My other star, which for some people would be a negative, but we had 4 refusals out cross country and we made it home. And when I tell you, I mean, you saw me in the show jumping, when it's not going well, I don't want to ruin it any further. I'm annoyingly a perfectionist, and I want the jump to feel amazing, and if we start having refusals, I want to call it a day whilst we're still on board. And I actually have learned so much more from that course, having continued on a refusal. Having had some weeks to reflect has improved my riding a lot, because I now know, oh, if we have a refusal, what is actually the worst that's going to happen? I mean, obviously that I fall off, and that, as I said, I have fallen off at a lot of my competitions, and that's maybe where this is coming from. But we continued, and I got her over everything that she had refused, and we finished the course. And Claire had told me I was not to give up, I was to go right to the end, and I did. And this level of satisfaction that brung, even though it was the 60 and it didn't go to plan and I felt like crap most of the time, that was such a good thing to come of the day. I think I see, and we're maybe all guilty of this, I see YouTubers who are very, very good and have loads of experience and have had loads of horses their whole life to get amazing, and they are amazing, and you see them go out to their first competition, their first cross country, and they go double clear, or they go clear, or they place. And I think that's how my riding journey has started, because I started with YouTube. And I think when it doesn't happen for you, it can be quite demoralising. But I am, as I say, humbled from that competition, and it has only made me want to get to the point where I can do my double clear. I'm still chasing my clear round. I'm still chasing my double clear. Thanks, Nelly. But it's gonna make it so much more fulfilling when we get that double clear. My wish, I mean, how do you pick just one? Obviously, we've got a wee action plan. If you haven't seen it, it's on my Instagram. But my wish was, I need to figure out either how to manage or how to ride the sudden accelerations that she does. They sort of have quite a nice rhythm, and then out of nowhere the burst of speed, and either to manage it so that it doesn't happen, maybe there's something I'm doing, or learn to ride it. Learn to sit to it, learn to make it happen and not take my leg off, because what happens is you instinctively, when she shoots off, is your leg's off. But that's not giving her the confidence to get over the fence. So practice, practice, practice. It looks like our next competition on the cards is a riding club show jumping team competition, which we're both going to. Heather and I are both riding in it. I'm obviously going on Nelly, and Heather's taking Walt. If you would like to see that, please subscribe, and you can turn on your notification bell if you'd like to see what we post next. Give us a wee comment, either a little bit of constructive criticism or advice, or just something nice for us to read. And like the video if you liked it. And until the next one, we'll see y'all later. You're eating my hair. Bye! Well, bye!